The Silent Language, How to Read Non-Verbal Cues, Project Unspoken Confidence, and Command Respect in Any Room. Full audiobook. Over 90% of communication has nothing to do with your words, and mastering this silent language is the key to unshakable social power. Right now, in every room you enter, a second conversation is happening. A silent conversation. It's happening in the tilt of a head, the stillness of hands, the focus of the eyes. While you're carefully choosing your words, your body is broadcasting a different message entirely. One of insecurity, or worse, indifference. This book is your decoder ring. This is your training manual for the only language that truly matters. Stop talking. Start communicating. The real conversation begins now. Chapter 1. Decode the unspoken. That silence you just heard. That's the sound of judgment. In the 3 seconds it took for that door to open and close, everyone in that room sized you up. They didn't hear your resume. They didn't read your credentials. They made a decision about you based on one thing alone: the silent message you broadcasted the moment you entered. You are being judged, constantly. And right now, you are losing the case without ever speaking your defense. You're already being judged. Forget everything you've been told about first impressions. It's not about your clever opening line. It's not about your firm handshake. Those come later. The real decision is made in the first 3 to 7 seconds. In the blink of an eye, people decide your competence, your trustworthiness, and your status. They are hardwired to do this. It's a primal survival mechanism, and they are doing it based on your nonverbal cues. The hesitation in your step, the hunch of your shoulders, the downward glance, or the confident stride, the open posture, the direct gaze. You are being read like a book, and you don't even know you're holding the pages. The conversation is happening before you say a word. You have a choice. You can leave this process to chance, letting your unconscious nerves and insecurities write a story you don't want told. Or you can seize control of the narrative. You can become the author of that first impression. It's not about being fake. It's about being deliberate. It's not about arrogance, it's about awareness. The conversation is happening before you say a word. To seize control, you must understand the medium. You must learn the channels of transmission, the 3 channels of silence. There are 3 primary channels through which this silent conversation flows. Master these, and you master the message. The first channel is kinesics, and this is the language of the body. Your posture, your gestures, your facial expressions, your eye contact. This is the most powerful channel, accounting for over half of the silent message. A slouch screams insecurity. Fidgeting hands broadcast anxiety. A steady gaze communicates confidence. Your body is a billboard for your inner state. The second channel is vocalics. This is the music beneath your words. Your tone, your pitch, your pace, your volume. You can say, "I'm excited to be here" in a flat, monotone voice, and everyone will know you're lying. Your voice carries the emotional truth. A shaky, high-pitched voice undermines your authority. A calm, resonant, varied tone commands attention and trust. The third channel is proxemics. This is the science of space. How you use the space around you. Do you shrink into a corner? Or do you comfortably claim your territory? Do you stand at an appropriate distance? Not so close you invade, not so far you disengage? Your use of space communicates your comfort level and your sense of power. Master the channels, master the message. These 3 channels are always broadcasting, simultaneously. Right now, yours are probably out of sync. Your words might say one thing, while your body, voice, and use of space say another. This incongruence is what people sense. This is the source of that gut feeling they get about you. To be believed, you must align all 3 channels. Master the channels, master the message. When you learn to read these channels in others, you gain a superpower. You see the truth behind the words. Become a human lie detector. People lie with their words all the time. They rarely lie with their bodies. The body is a truth teller. Your job is to become a detective of dissonance, to spot the incongruence between what is said and what is shown. Here's how it works. Someone says, "I completely agree with you," while simultaneously crossing their arms, leaning back and looking away. The words say yes. The body screams no. Which do you believe? Always believe the body. The arms are a barrier. The lean is a retreat. The averted gaze is disengagement. Watch what they do, not what they say. Look for clusters, not single signals. One crossed arm might just mean they're cold, but crossed arms, plus a clenched jaw, plus a foot pointed toward the door, that's a cluster of resistance. That's the truth leaking out. Conversely, someone leaning in with open palms and a nod, that's a cluster of genuine agreement. You are now reading the real conversation happening beneath the superficial one. Watch what they do, not what they say. This is your new lens for every interaction. Stop just listening to the soundtrack. Start watching the movie. The boss who says, "Your job is secure," while avoiding eye contact and cleaning his glasses, is telling you everything you need to know. The date who says, "I had a great time," while already looking for the waiter for the check, is communicating the truth. You are no longer at the mercy of words. You are decoding reality. Watch what they do, not what they say. The code has been cracked. The judgment is now understood. The channels are revealed. The truth is visible. The conversation is happening before you say a word. Master the channels, master the message. Watch what they do, not what they say. You now understand the battlefield. But knowledge is useless without a weapon. Your most powerful weapon is the one everyone sees, but few know how to control. Your own body. The next chapter is your weapons training. Chapter 2. Your body is shouting, listen. That noise you just heard? That is the sound of weakness. That is the sound of a nervous system at war with itself, leaking anxiety into the world through frantic, useless movement. Your body is not whispering. It is screaming. And right now it's screaming, "I'm nervous. I'm insecure. Get me out of here." It is time to silence the noise. It is time to speak a new, more powerful language with your physique. The language of stillness, structure, and intention. The power of stillness. An untrained body under stress is a leaky container. It spills energy everywhere. Pacifying gestures, touching your neck, rubbing your hands, playing with a pen, tapping your foot. These are not harmless habits. They are primal signals of self-soothing. They are what a child does when it's scared. And when you do them in a boardroom, on a date, or on a stage, you are communicating one thing. I am under threat. Your first and most powerful command to yourself is this: be still. Stillness is the foundation of all perceived power. Think of a mountain. Think of a deep lake. They command respect not through movement, but through their immutable presence. A CEO doesn't fidget while announcing quarterly results. A special forces operator doesn't tap their foot before a mission. Their calm is a weapon. Your fidgeting is a surrender. Stillness signals strength. This is a discipline. It is the conscious override of your nervous system's desire to dissipate anxiety through motion. When you feel the urge to touch your face, you freeze. You lower your hands. You place them calmly at your sides or rest them comfortably. You become aware of your feet, rooting them to the floor. You are not just stopping a movement. You are sending a command to your brain that says, "We are safe. We are in control." Your external stillness will cultivate internal calm. Stillness signals strength. But stillness alone is not enough. You must build that stillness upon a structure of absolute confidence, the anatomy of a confident stance. Your posture is the architecture of your authority. A collapsed posture, slumped shoulders, a caved chest, a downward gaze, is the architecture of defeat. It physically constricts your lungs, reducing your power and vocal tone. It tells your brain you are losing. You will now build a new structure. This is non-negotiable. It is your new default setting. First, your feet. Plant them shoulder-width apart. Feel your weight distributed evenly. This is your foundation. You are a tree, not a blade of grass. Second, your shoulders. Pull them back and down, not in a stiff military caricature, but with a relaxed power. Imagine you are trying to touch your shoulder blades together in your back pocket. This opens your chest. This tells the world you have nothing to hide. Third, your head. Level your chin with the floor. Your gaze becomes horizontal, meeting the world directly. This simple triangulation of power, grounded feet, open chest, level gaze, fundamentally alters your biochemistry and your perception. You are no longer taking up space. You are claiming it. Own your space, own your state. Practice this in front of a mirror. See the difference. Feel the difference. This is not about being someone else. This is about physically embodying the most powerful version of yourself. You don't need their permission to stand tall. You just need to do it. Own your space. Own your state. Now, with a still and structured body, you can begin to use movement not as a leak, but as a laser. Gesture with intention. The amateur's hands are a chaotic storm. They flutter, they poke, they flail randomly, distracting from their words and screaming their anxiety. The master's hands are a conductor's baton. Every movement is deliberate, purposeful, and designed to emphasize and clarify the message. Your new rule is simple. Every movement must have a mission. If your hand is moving, it is to make a point. To enumerate a list. To illustrate a size or shape. To draw people in or push an idea away. When you are not making an intentional gesture, your hands return to a position of rest. No more pockets. No more crossed arms as a default. Just calm, ready stillness. Watch the most powerful speakers. Their gestures are clean, defined, and punctuate their speech. They steeple their fingers to show precision. They use open palms to show honesty. They hold a point with a still hand to show conviction. This is not random. It is choreographed. It is controlled power. Every movement must have a mission. This does three things. First, it makes you a more compelling and understandable communicator. Second, it projects immense control and forethought. Third, it burns the nervous energy that would otherwise leak out as a pacifying gesture. You are channeling the storm into a focused beam. Your hands are now tools of leadership, not toys for your anxiety. Every movement must have a mission. The shouting has stopped. The noise is gone. You have replaced chaos with command. Your body is no longer a traitor. It is your most loyal soldier. Stillness signals strength. Own your space. Own your state. Every movement must have a mission. You have learned to control the broadcast. But a message is useless without a connection. The deepest connections are built through the most powerful channel, the eyes. The next chapter builds the bridge. Chapter 3. The eyes are the bridge. Your body is now still. Your posture is powerful, but you are not yet fully present. You are missing the most critical connection point. The bridge between you and another human being. That bridge is built not with words, not with posture, but with the eyes. You can have the most powerful stance in the world, but if your eyes are shifty, weak, or vacant, you have built a fortress with no gate. You are isolated. The eyes are the most honest part of the human body. They build trust, or they destroy it. How to hold a gaze. You have been doing this wrong. You either stare, creating intensity that becomes intimidation, or you glance, creating a flicker that becomes insecurity. There is a middle path, the confident, connecting gaze. The rule is the 80-20 rule. You hold someone's gaze for roughly 80% of the conversation. You break it for 20%. Not a frantic break, a thoughtful one. You look away to gather a thought, to gesture, to show you are considering their words. Then you return. This rhythm signals engagement, not aggression. It says, I am with you, and I am also thinking. The stare says, I am trying to dominate you. The glance says, I am afraid of you. The gaze says, I see you, and I am comfortable here with you. This is the balance. This is the connection. You must practice this. In your next conversation, consciously implement the 80-20 rhythm. Feel the difference. You are no longer fighting or fleeing. You are connecting. The eyes build trust, or destroy it. Where you look when you break is also a signal. Look to the side or up in thought, not down in submission. A downward glance is a signal of defeat. A lateral or upward glance is a signal of cognition. You are in control of the break. You are choosing to think. This maintains your power throughout the entire interaction. The eyes build trust, or destroy it. But the eyes are not just for sending signals. They are your most powerful receptor. They are giving you the truth in real time. Reading the pupils and brows. While you are busy crafting your next sentence, the person across from you is broadcasting their genuine, unfiltered reaction through their eyes. This is data you are ignoring. First, the pupils. Pupils dilate for two primary reasons: low light and high interest. In a well-lit room, if someone's pupils widen when you speak, you have them. They are interested, engaged, even aroused by the conversation. It is a biological sign of yes. Conversely, pupil contraction can signal discomfort, disagreement, or a shutting down. The eyes cannot lie. Next, the brows. The micro-movements of the eyebrows are a direct window into someone's emotional processing. Raised brows signal surprise or curiosity, a good sign. Furrowed brows signal confusion, concentration, or disagreement, a sign you may need to clarify or slow down. A single raised brow can signal skepticism. You are no longer just hearing their words. You are reading their real-time reaction to yours. The eyes cannot lie. You are now having two conversations at once, the spoken one and the true one, happening in the neural landscape of their face. This makes you incredibly powerful. You can adjust your approach before they ever verbalize an objection. You can double down on what sparks their interest. You are no longer guessing. You are responding to the truth. The eyes cannot lie. This works one-on-one. But what about when you face a group? This is where most people fail, their eyes darting around like a trapped animal. The group scan. You walk into a meeting with 5 people. Your eyes ping-pong from face to face, never landing, never connecting. You are trying to include everyone, but you are making everyone feel unseen. You are broadcasting panic. The technique is the group scan. You do not try to look at everyone at once. You see everyone, but you focus on one. Here is the method. As you speak, you pick one person. You deliver a complete thought, a full sentence or two to them. You connect using the 80-20 gaze. Then, you calmly and slowly transition your gaze to another person. You deliver the next complete thought to them. You are having a series of mini conversations within the group. This does 3 things. First, it makes each person feel personally addressed and valued. Second, it gives you the appearance of immense calm and control. Your movements are slow and deliberate. Third, it allows you to read each person individually, gathering data from each set of eyes. See everyone. Focus on one. Your goal is not to allocate time equally. Your goal is to connect authentically with individuals within the collective. If one person seems confused, you might spend an extra thought with them. If another is nodding, you can use them as an anchor point to build momentum. You are the conductor, and each person is an instrument you are engaging with intention. See everyone. Focus on one. The sound of the heartbeat remains, now accompanied by the soft, focused sound of a camera lens clicking into place. The bridge is built. You have mastered the gaze that connects, not confronts. You have learned to read the unspoken truth in the pupils and the brows. You can now command a room with a calm, deliberate scan. The eyes build trust or destroy it. The eyes cannot lie. See everyone, focus on one. You have mastered the visual connection. But there is another layer, an auditory one, that carries the music of your message. It's the voice beneath your words. The next chapter tunes your instrument. Chapter 4. The voice beneath the words. Hear that? The notes are identical. The melody is the same, but the experience is worlds apart. Your words are the notes. Your voice is the instrument. And right now you are playing a masterpiece on a broken speaker. You are so focused on the script of your words that you are ignoring the soundtrack of your voice. Your voice is not just a vehicle for language. It is your auditory signature. It is the first thing people remember about you. Long after the words are forgotten. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. You can say, "This project is a top priority," with energy and conviction, and your team will feel motivated. You can say the exact same words with a flat, monotone, hesitant voice, and your team will feel dread. The dictionary definition is irrelevant. The emotional payload is carried entirely in the music of your voice. This is the concept of vocalics. It's the layer of communication that includes your tone, the emotional color, your timbre, the unique texture and richness, your pace, the speed of your delivery, and your volume, the power behind it. When these are out of alignment with your words, you create distrust. People believe the music, not the lyrics. A shaky voice undermines a confident statement. A sarcastic tone betrays a supportive comment. Your voice is your signature. You have a choice. You can deliver your brilliant words with a weak, thin, nervous voice and be completely misunderstood. Or you can learn to master the instrument. You can ensure your vocal music matches your lyrical message. This is not about being loud. It is about being congruent. It is about integrity between your intent and your sound. Your voice is your signature. The fastest way to transform your vocal signature is to change its source. To move it from a place of stress to a place of power, the authority voice. Under pressure, your voice climbs into your throat. It becomes higher, thinner, and tighter. This is a biological response to stress. Your vocal cords are constricting. The result is a voice that sounds juvenile, anxious, and lacks authority. The solution is to drop your anchor. You must speak from your diaphragm, not your throat. The diaphragm is the powerful, dome-shaped muscle beneath your lungs. It is the engine of a confident voice. Here is the drill. Place a hand on your belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel your stomach expand, not just your chest. Now, as you exhale, say hello, and feel the vibration come from that deep, supported place. That is your true voice. It is deeper, it is more resonant. It carries a natural authority because it is physiologically impossible to produce that sound while in a state of high panic. Drop the pitch, command the room. Practice this daily. Read a page of a book aloud, focusing solely on keeping your voice low and supported. You will feel a calmer nervous system. You will sound more credible. You will discover a vocal power you didn't know you had. This is not a trick. It is a retraining of your body's most fundamental instrument. Drop the pitch, command the room. With a powerful instrument, you must now master the most underutilized tool in communication, the space between the notes, the power of the pause. The amateur is terrified of silence. They fill every gap with ah, and like. This verbal static is the sound of a mind racing, desperate to hold the floor. It communicates uncertainty, nervousness, and a lack of preparation. The master wields silence like a sculptor wields space. A deliberate pause is power. It does three things. First, it gives weight to the words just spoken, allowing them to land and resonate. Second, it gives you a moment to breathe, think, and choose your next words with intention. Third, it builds anticipation in your audience, pulling them forward in their seats. Before you make a key point, pause for 2 seconds. Let the silence gather attention. After you deliver a crucial statement, pause again. Let it sink in. When asked a difficult question, pause. Show that you are considering it deeply, not just reacting. This is not dead air. This is pregnant air, filled with meaning and expectation. Own the silence. Own the conversation. This practice transforms you from a nervous speaker into a thoughtful communicator. It signals that you are so comfortable and in control that you are not afraid of a little quiet. You are not rushing to fill space. You are using space to enhance your message. In a negotiation, the first person to speak after a pause loses leverage. In a presentation, a pause commands respect. Own the silence. Own the conversation. Sound of a rich, low-frequency note that resonates and then fades into a perfect, comfortable silence. Your instrument is now tuned. You understand that the music matters more than the notes. You have found your deep, authoritative voice. And you have learned to use silence as your ultimate punctuation. Your voice is your signature. Drop the pitch. Command the room. Own the silence. Own the conversation. You have mastered the personal broadcast. But communication is not just about you. It's about the space you share with others. It's about the territory you command. The next chapter is about your sphere of influence. Chapter 5. Command your territory. You have mastered your body, your eyes, your voice. But you are not an island. You exist in space, and how you use that space, how you move through it, how you claim it, is broadcasting a constant message about your authority, your intentions, and your boundaries. Right now, you are probably giving away your power square foot by square foot. It is time to expand your borders. It is time to command your territory. The science of proxemics. Anthropologist Edward T. Hall gave this a name. Proxemics. The study of how we use space. There are zones. The intimate zone for whispering and touching. The personal zone for conversations with friends. The social zone for group interactions. The public zone for speaking to a crowd. But this is not just about distance. It's about dominance. When you allow someone to stand too close, you permit intimacy you may not want. When you stand too far, you signal disengagement or fear. When you arrange your desk as a barrier between you and others, you create a power dynamic. When you sit beside someone, you create collaboration. Your use of space is a continuous, silent negotiation. Space is power. Claim yours. Think of a lion on the savannah. It doesn't ask for territory. It claims it simply by being there, by moving with ownership. You must do the same. In a meeting, do you shrink into the corner chair, or do you take a seat at the table? When you speak, do you lean back, ceding territory, or do you lean in, expanding your influence? Every choice is a signal. You are either claiming your kingdom or surrendering it. Space is power. Claim yours. This negotiation begins the very moment you cross a threshold. Your entrance sets the stage for everything that follows. The confident entrance. Most people enter a room as if they're apologizing for existing. They shuffle in, eyes down, hoping to go unnoticed. This is a catastrophic error. Your entrance is your opening statement. It must be deliberate. The protocol is simple. Pause, scan, move. As you reach the door, you do not burst through. You pause for 1 second on the threshold. You take a calm breath. You square your shoulders, then you scan the room. Your eyes move calmly across the space, taking in the landscape. You are not looking for a friendly face. You are assessing your territory. Then, and only then, do you move. You walk with purpose to your destination, not a rushed, frantic walk, a deliberate, grounded walk. You have just communicated to everyone in that room, without a single word, that you are a person who belongs here. Enter the room before you arrive. This pause is critical. It breaks the pattern of frantic entry. It gives you a moment to transition from the hallway to the stage. It allows people to notice you. You are not slipping in. You are arriving. You are making a controlled, powerful first impression that happens before you even utter a greeting. Enter the room before you arrive. Once you have claimed the space, you must defend it. You must become immovable when it matters. Become a rock in the river. Conversations are dynamic. People move. They gesture. They might try to dominate you by invading your space, by forcing you to step back. This is a primal test, and most people fail it. They flinch. They retreat. They give up ground. Your new discipline is this: become a rock in the river. The water may flow around you, but you do not move. If someone steps into your personal space during a heated discussion, you do not automatically step back. You hold your ground. You maintain your posture. You might even lean in slightly, just an inch, to reclaim the space. This is not aggression. This is stability. Do not flinch. Do not retreat. This applies to your entire physical presence. If you are making a point and someone tries to interrupt you with a gesture or by talking over you, you do not collapse. You do not look away. You maintain your gaze. You finish your thought. You are a rock. Your unwavering physical presence communicates an unwavering mind. People will subconsciously register this and adjust their behavior accordingly. They will respect your boundaries because you respect them yourself. Do not flinch. Do not retreat. This is the ultimate expression of territorial command. It is not about being loud or aggressive. It is about being so grounded, so certain in your right to occupy the space you are in that no external pressure can make you yield. You are a fixed point, an anchor, and people are naturally drawn to anchors in a storm. Do not flinch, do not retreat. Your territory is now defined. You understand that space is a form of currency. You have mastered the art of the entrance, and you have become an unshakable presence. Space is power. Claim yours. Enter the room before you arrive. Do not flinch. Do not retreat. You now command the space around you. But to truly master the silent language, you must turn your focus outward. You must learn to read the hidden signals others are broadcasting. The next chapter gives you the decoder ring. Chapter 6. Read their hidden signals. You are now broadcasting a powerful, congruent message. But you are only half of the equation. Every person you meet is a locked vault of hidden intentions, unspoken agreements, and concealed discomfort. Until now, you've been trying to pick the lock with guesswork. Now, you have the combination. You are about to learn to see the truth that people are physically shouting, but verbally denying. Stop listening to their lips. Start reading their body. The cluster rule. This is the golden rule. The one rule you must never break. Never ever trust a single nonverbal cue. A single cue is a data point. It is a clue. It is not the truth. Someone crossing their arms might be cold or simply comfortable. A person looking away might be distracted by a noise, not disinterested. A foot tapping might be to a song in their head, not impatience with you. If you judge based on one signal, you will misread, misinterpret, and make fatal social errors. You must look for clusters. A cluster is 3 or 4 congruent signals happening within a short window of time, all pointing to the same emotional state. Crossed arms plus a slight lean back, plus a downturned mouth, plus a foot pointed toward the door. That is a cluster of withdrawal. That is the truth. One signal is a clue. A cluster is the truth. This is what separates the amateur from the expert. The amateur sees a crossed arm and thinks, they're closed off. The expert scans for the cluster. They don't guess, they know. They have multiple points of confirmation. Your new discipline is to stop reacting to the first signal you see. Freeze the frame. Scan the entire person. Gather your data points. Then, and only then, do you draw your conclusion. One signal is a clue. A cluster is the truth. The most critical clusters to spot are those of discomfort and resistance. These are your early warning systems, spotting discomfort and deception. When people feel threatened, cornered, or deceptive, their body goes to war with their words. They will say, "This is a great idea," while their entire physiology is screaming, "I hate this." Your job is to hear the scream. Look for blocking gestures. These are barriers the body erects between itself and a perceived threat. Crossed arms are a classic barrier. Placing a bag or a laptop on the lap is a barrier. Turning the torso away from you, even while the head faces you, is a barrier. The body is trying to hide. Look for pacifiers. Touching the neck, specifically the suprasternal notch, the notch at the base of the throat, is a major self-soothing gesture under stress. Lip compression, pressing the lips together into a tight line, signals that someone is stopping themselves from speaking. Excessive fidgeting, like playing with a ring or tapping a pen, is nervous energy leaking out. The mind is trying to calm the body. Discomfort always leaks out. When you see these clusters, you don't confront them. You recognize them. You now know the real conversation is happening. The words are just noise. You have the data. You can adjust your approach, back off, ask a different question, or simply understand that you are not getting buy-in. Discomfort always leaks out. But it's not just about spotting the no. Your real power comes from spotting the yes, recognizing openness and agreement. Just as the body leaks discomfort, it also broadcasts engagement and accord. These are your green lights, your signals to move forward, to ask for the sale, to close the deal. Look for open palms. When a person speaks with their palms visible, it is a primal signal of honesty and openness. No hidden weapons. Nothing to hide. Look for leaning in. When someone is genuinely interested, they will often lean their torso toward you. They are closing the distance, drawn in by what you're saying. Look for genuine nodding, not the slow, polite, "I'm listening" nod. The quicker, more frequent nods of agreement and understanding. And most importantly, look for the Duchenne smile, the genuine smile that reaches the eyes, causing crow's feet. It is neurologically impossible to fake this. The eyes crinkle. The cheeks raise. That is real joy, real agreement. Look for the green lights. When you see this cluster, open palms, a forward lean, genuine nodding, a real smile, you have them. The silent conversation is one of alignment. This is when you double down. This is when you make your ask. This is the moment of maximum influence. You are no longer pushing. You are being pulled. Look for the green lights. The lock is picked. The vault is open. You are no longer in the dark. You can see the clusters that reveal the truth. You can spot the leaks of discomfort and the beacons of agreement. One signal is a clue. A cluster is the truth. Discomfort always leaks out. Look for the green lights. You can now read the room. But reading is a passive skill. The final step is to actively build a bridge, to create harmony and trust without saying a word. The next chapter teaches you the art of silent sync. Chapter 7. The mirror of rapport. You can now read people. You see their clusters of comfort and discomfort. But reading is a passive skill. Mastery is active. Mastery is not just observing the dance. It is stepping onto the floor and leading with such subtlety that your partner feels they are leading themselves. This is the art of building rapport. It is the silent, physical handshake that says, "We are the same. I am safe, you can trust me." This is not manipulation. It is the foundation of all human connection. Subtle mimicry is the sincerest flattery. Deep in our primal brain, we are wired to trust what is familiar. We are drawn to people who are like us. This is a survival mechanism. Mirroring is the deliberate, conscious application of this principle. When you subtly match another person's posture, their gestures, their energy, and even their speech patterns. You are speaking a deep, ancient dialect that says, "I am part of your tribe." The science is clear. Mirroring activates mirror neurons in the brain, creating a subconscious feeling of alignment and understanding. If they lean back and cross their legs, you lean back and cross your legs, after a delayed pause, not instantly. If they speak slowly and deliberately, you match that pace. If they use their hands to talk, you incorporate a similar level of gesturing. You are not being a parrot. You are being a chameleon, blending into their social environment to build a bridge of trust. Match and mirror to build a bridge. This is how deals are closed. This is how conflicts are resolved. This is how deep connections are forged. You are bypassing the logical, skeptical part of their mind and speaking directly to their subconscious. You are making yourself neurologically familiar and therefore safe. You don't need their permission to find common ground. You create it physically. Match and mirror to build a bridge, but this must be an art, not a science. It must be a dance, not a mechanical replication, the synchronized dance. If your mirroring is obvious, you have failed. If they catch you doing it, it becomes mockery. It becomes creepy. The goal is for them to feel a sense of harmony with you, without ever knowing why. The key is in the timing and the subtlety. Do not mirror instantly. Wait 5 to 10 seconds before you adopt a similar posture. Do not copy every single gesture. Mirror the general theme. If they use open, sweeping gestures, you use open, sweeping gestures. You are matching the energy, not performing a perfect copy. You are reflecting the music of their movement, not every single note. Rapport is a silent dance. Watch two close friends in conversation. They will often sip their drinks at the same time, lean in simultaneously, and laugh in unison. This is unconscious rapport. You are making it conscious. You are the one initiating the synchronization. This dance creates a feedback loop of positivity. They feel good around you, which makes you feel more confident, which makes them feel even more at ease. You are creating a self-reinforcing cycle of connection. Rapport is a silent dance. There is, however, a time to break the rhythm. A time to step out of the dance and lead, when to break the mirror. Mirroring builds rapport. Breaking the mirror establishes leadership. Once you have built a bridge of trust, you can use a break in the pattern to gently guide the conversation, to shift the energy, or to signal a change in direction. The technique is simple. Once you are in sync, you deliberately and calmly break the pattern to introduce your new frame. If you are both leaning back in a casual discussion and you need to make a serious point, you slowly lean forward, uncross your legs, and lower your vocal tone. Their brain, now accustomed to being in sync with you, will often subconsciously follow your lead. They will lean forward with you. You have just redirected the entire energy of the conversation without a single verbal command. This is a power move. It should be used sparingly and only after rapport is established. If you break the mirror too early, you break the connection. If you do it from a place of power, you guide it. You are not just following their lead anymore. You are testing the strength of the connection and demonstrating your own calm authority. Lead the dance, don't just follow. This is the complete cycle. You match to build trust. You synchronize to deepen the connection. You break the pattern to gently guide. You are no longer just a participant in the silent conversation. You are its conductor. Lead the dance, don't just follow. The bridge is built. The dance is mastered. You have learned to sync, to harmonize, and to guide. Match and mirror to build a bridge. Rapport is a silent dance. Lead the dance, don't just follow. You can now create connection on demand. But what happens when the person you need to connect with most, yourself, is broadcasting insecurity? The final internal shift is to silence your own biggest critic. The next chapter is about your inner broadcast. Chapter 8. The confidence mask. You have learned to read others. You have learned to build rapport. But there is one person whose silent language you have yet to fully command. yourself. Your inner critic is a leaky faucet of insecurity dripping doubt into your posture, your voice, your gaze. You wait to feel confident before you act with confidence. This is your final and most crippling error. It is time to end the wait. It is time to understand that confidence is not the cause of powerful behavior. It is the result. Fake it until you become it. You have the formula backwards. You believe feeling, action. You think, when I feel brave, I will speak up. This is a lie that keeps you small. The real neurological sequence is action. Feeling. When you physically act confident, when you stand tall, hold a gaze, and speak with authority, you send a cascade of signals to your brain. Your brain, which is constantly monitoring your body's state, receives this data and concludes, I must be confident. Look at how I'm acting. It then releases the neurochemicals, like testosterone and dopamine, associated with that state. The feeling of confidence follows the action. It always does. The body leads, the mind follows. This is not faking in the sense of being a fraud. This is faking in the sense of a pilot practicing in a flight simulator. The simulator isn't real, but the neural pathways and muscle memory built there are. You are building the neural pathways of confidence by acting it out. So when the real moment comes, the pathway is already well worn and familiar. You are not lying to yourself. You are rehearsing the truth of who you are becoming. The body leads, the mind follows. The simplest and most powerful way to initiate this chain reaction is a 2-minute miracle you can perform anywhere, anytime. The 2-minute miracle. Before you walk into the high-stakes meeting, the important date, the difficult conversation, you need a biochemical intervention. You need to change your body chemistry on demand. This is the power pose. Go to a private space, a bathroom stall, an empty hallway, your car. For 2 minutes, adopt a posture of supreme power and openness. Stand with your feet wide, your hands on your hips, your chest lifted, your chin level. Imagine you are a superhero who just saved the city. Or sit back in a chair, legs stretched out, arms behind your head, taking up space. Hold this. Breathe deeply for 2 full minutes. The science, pioneered by researchers like Amy Cuddy at Harvard, is robust. This simple act significantly increases your levels of testosterone, the dominance hormone, and decreases your levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. You are not just psyching yourself up. You are physically, chemically altering your state to one of higher capacity and lower anxiety. Change your posture, change your fate. You are not waiting to feel powerful. You are making yourself powerful, from the outside in. This 2-minute investment pays 1,000-fold return in the composure you bring to the moment that follows. You walk in not hoping to be confident, but already chemically fortified for it. Change your posture. Change your fate. Sometimes, you need more than a pose. You need a persona. A blueprint for power. Embody the archetype. In moments of doubt, asking yourself, how do I feel, is a useless question. It leads you back to insecurity. Instead, you must ask a better question. What would archetype do? Choose an archetype that embodies the qualities you need. It could be a historical leader like Winston Churchill, known for his unshakable resolve. It could be a fictional character like James Bond, known for his unflappable cool under pressure. It could be a CEO you admire, or even a queen or king archetype, someone who owns their space with innate authority. Then, step into that role. How would that person stand in this room? How would they hold their head? What would their gaze be like? How would they listen? You are not being inauthentic. You are accessing a pre-existing blueprint for power that already exists within you. You are giving your body a clear, specific set of instructions to follow. Act as if until you become. This is a psychological hack of the highest order. It gets you out of your own anxious head and into a character of competence. You are no longer little, scared you. You are playing a part. And as you play the part, as you walk, talk, and gesture like that archetype, you gather evidence that you are that person. The mask, worn long enough and with enough conviction, becomes the face. Act as if, until you become, the mask is now integrated. You understand the mechanism. Your body is the lever that moves your mind. You have a 2-minute tool to alter your chemistry, and you have a cast of inner allies to guide your performance. The body leads. The mind follows. Change your posture, change your fate. Act as if, until you become. You have transformed your internal state. But this inner shift must be protected from the corrosive voice of self-doubt. The next chapter is about securing your perimeter. Chapter 9. Silence the inner critic, that voice in your head. The one that whispers, "You don't belong here. They're going to find you out. You're not good enough." You think it's a private conversation. You are wrong. That critic is not just a voice. It is a director, and it is directing a terrible play on the stage of your body, with your posture, your eyes, and your voice as its unwilling actors. Your insecurity is not a secret. It is a public broadcast. Your insecurity is leaking. Imposter syndrome is not an intellectual problem. It is a physical one. That feeling of being a fraud doesn't stay in your mind. It leaks out through 1,000 tiny physical betrayals. It manifests as a closed-off posture, shoulders hunched, arms crossed, making you smaller. It leaks out as averted eyes, a refusal to hold a gaze because you feel unworthy of the connection. It drips into your voice, making it quiet, hesitant, and high-pitched. You are not hiding your doubt. You are advertising it. Every time you shrink your body, you are giving a physical form to your inner critic. You are proving it right. You are creating a feedback loop where your feelings create your posture, and your posture reinforces your feelings. It is a vicious, self-fulfilling prophecy. Your inner state is your outer broadcast. You have a choice. You can listen to the critic and let it design your physical reality, ensuring your failure. Or you can fire the director and take control of the production. You can change the broadcast. Your inner state is your outer broadcast. But how do you fight an internal feeling? You don't. You bypass it. You go straight to the output, the external fix for an internal problem. You cannot reason with a hurricane of anxiety. You cannot debate your imposter syndrome into submission. But you don't have to. You have a set of physical tools that are more powerful than your thoughts. You can use your body to hack your brain. When the wave of self-doubt hits, you do not try to think positively. You execute a physical protocol. You throw your shoulders back. You plant your feet. You lift your chin. You take a deep diaphragmatic breath. You force your eyes to meet someone's gaze and hold it. You consciously drop the pitch of your voice. You are not doing this because you feel confident. You are doing this to create the feeling of confidence. You are sending a brute force signal to your nervous system that overrides the faulty programming of your inner critic. You are not fixing the feeling. You are fixing the broadcast. And when the broadcast changes, the internal signal over time will clear up. Fix the broadcast, and the signal will clear. This is the ultimate empowerment. It means you are never a victim of your feelings. You have a lever you can pull, regardless of how you feel. You are not at the mercy of your mind. You are the master of your body, and through your body, you become the master of your mind. Fix the broadcast, and the signal will clear. There is one final, crucial shift that makes this sustainable. A shift in your very focus, from self-conscious to situation-conscious. The root of your anxiety is a hyper-focus on self. How do I look? What do they think of me? Am I sounding smart? This is the prison of self-consciousness. It makes you the center of your own universe, and it is a lonely, stressful place to be. The escape is simple but profound. You must shift your focus from internal evaluation to external contribution. You stop asking, "How am I doing?" and start asking, "What is this person communicating to me?" You stop worrying about your performance and start focusing on your connection. You get out of your head and into the room. When you are truly listening to someone, you cannot simultaneously be listening to your inner critic. When you are focused on reading their nonverbal clusters, you are not focused on monitoring your own heartbeat. When you are thinking about how to solve their problem, you are not thinking about your own inadequacy. You dissolve the self into the situation. Get out of your head and into the room. This is the final silencing of the critic. You don't defeat it with force. You starve it of attention. You make yourself so busy, so engaged, so fascinated by the world and the people in it, that the critic's voice becomes a faint, irrelevant whisper. Your mission is no longer to protect your fragile ego. Your mission is to connect, to understand, to contribute. That mission is far more powerful than any doubt. Get out of your head and into the room. The critic has been silenced. Not by argument, but by action. You have plugged the leaks. You have fixed the broadcast. You have redirected your focus. Your inner state is your outer broadcast. Fix the broadcast, and the signal will clear. Get out of your head and into the room. You have mastered the internal game. All that remains is to bring every skill together to become a unified, unstoppable force of silent influence. The final chapter is your integration. Chapter 10. Become the signal, not the noise. Until now, you have been learning the individual instruments. The posture, the eyes, the voice, the space. You have practiced them in isolation. But mastery is not about playing a single instrument well. Mastery is about conducting the entire orchestra. It is about weaving every element into a single, seamless, and powerful symphony of presence. The random notes end now. The harmony begins. Integrate the silent symphony. Your body is the orchestra. Your posture is the string section, the foundation, providing the depth and stability. Your eyes are the woodwinds, the melody, creating the emotional connection and narrative. Your voice is the brass, the power, projecting authority and command across the space. Your use of territory is the percussion, the rhythm, setting the pace and defining the boundaries. Your job is to conduct them all simultaneously. You cannot have a powerful voice if your posture is collapsed. You cannot have a connecting gaze if you are invading someone's space. They must all work in concert. When you walk into a room, your grounded stance, your deliberate scan, your resonant voice, and your calm claim of territory must happen not as separate actions, but as one unified expression of intent. You are no longer using techniques. You are exuding a presence. Orchestrate your presence. This is where it becomes authentic. This is where it stops being a skill and starts being you. The awkwardness falls away. The self-consciousness vanishes. You are not thinking about the individual parts. You are feeling the whole. You are the music. Orchestrate your presence. When this symphony is perfectly tuned, something remarkable happens. You no longer need to ask for authority. It is given to you freely. Lead without a title. True leadership has nothing to do with a job title on a business card. It is a quality of presence. It is a silent command that draws people in and makes them want to follow. When your silent language is fully integrated, you become a gravitational force. People are drawn to calm. They are drawn to certainty. They are drawn to the person who listens with their entire being, who speaks with grounded authority, and who occupies space with unshakable comfort. In any meeting, in any social gathering, that person becomes the de facto leader. They don't demand respect. They command it through sheer presence. They are the calm in the chaos, the signal in the noise. Influence is a silent command. This is the ultimate application of this knowledge. It is not for manipulation. It is for magnetism. It is about becoming the person others look to when things are uncertain. The person whose opinion is sought because they appear to have everything under control. You lead by example, and the example is written in the language of your posture, your eyes, and your voice. You don't need the corner office to lead. You just need to own the space you're in. Influence is a silent command. There is one final transition. The transition from conscious effort to unconscious grace. Your new native tongue. Right now, you are still translating. You see a cue and you consciously think, that's a cluster of discomfort. You feel anxious and you consciously decide, I need to power pose. This is the intermediate stage. It is necessary, but it is not the end goal. The end goal is fluency. Just as you no longer think about verb conjugation when speaking your native language, you will soon no longer think about the rules of the silent language. You will simply speak it. Reading micro-expressions will be as natural as hearing words. Projecting confidence will be as automatic as breathing. The techniques will dissolve, leaving only the elegant result. This is your language now. Speak it fluently. This fluency is achieved through relentless, mindful practice. Every conversation is your dojo. Every room you enter is your rehearsal space. You will practice until the conscious becomes unconscious, until the learned becomes innate, until the mask, as we discussed, fully dissolves and reveals the true, powerful face that was underneath all along. You are not learning a new language. You are remembering your birthright. This is your language now. Speak it fluently. The symphony is complete. The instruments are one. You are no longer a student of the silent language. You are a native speaker. Orchestrate your presence. Influence is a silent command. This is your language now. Speak it fluently. The training is complete. You are now literate in the only language that truly matters. You can read the unspoken truths in every room you enter. You can project a presence of unshakable authority without saying a word. You know that your body shouts, so you command it with stillness. You know the eyes are a bridge, so you hold a gaze that builds trust. You have mastered the voice beneath the words, dropping your pitch to command the room. You claim your territory and read the hidden clusters in others. You build rapport with a subtle mirror and have learned to wear the mask until it becomes your face. You are no longer background noise. You are a clear, undeniable signal. So here is your final instruction. In your very next interaction, do not just communicate, orchestrate, be the calm, be the signal, be the influence. The silent conversation is always happening. You are no longer just a participant. You are the one who defines it. Now go and lead. The lesson is complete. The silent language is no longer a mystery. You now hear the music that everyone else misses. You see the conversation happening beneath the words. You understand that your body is shouting a message, so you command it with stillness and purpose. You know the eyes are a bridge, so you hold a gaze that builds trust. You have mastered the voice beneath the words, dropping your pitch to command the room. You claim your territory and read the hidden clusters of signals in others. You build rapport with a subtle mirror and wear the mask of confidence until it becomes your skin. From this moment forward, you are not just a speaker. You are a broadcaster. You are not just a listener. You are a decoder, so here is your final instruction. In your very next conversation, you will do one thing. You will listen with your eyes. Turn down the volume on their words and turn up the volume on their posture, their eyes, their hands. Decode the real message. And as you do, project your own silent power through your stance, your stillness, your gaze. The silent orchestra is always playing. You now have the conductor's baton. What will you command it to play?